Shashi Tharoor leave the Congress to join the BJP? $1 million question, but that is something which many people are asking repeatedly. But there's a reason behind this. In the last 10 days, there have been 3 big comments or Tharoor speak.
The policy has meant that India has actually a prime minister who can hug both the president of Ukraine and the president of Moscow 2 weeks apart and be accepted in both places. And therefore, India is in a position where it can make a difference.
Which has now given rise to a question that whether Shashi Tharoor is doing it deliberately.
It's not a good environment when tariffs become such a source of controversy.
Sovereignty of a member state, namely Ukraine, a couple of years later, 3 years later, it does look like I'm the one with egg on my face.
First, his egg on the face comment when he said that regarding the Ukraine-Russia policy of the Indian government, he got egg on the face when he realized that it was not such a bad policy, despite the fact that he, along with his party, had criticized it earlier. The second is when, in the context of the US tariffs and even as the delegation meeting was going on, he expressed his confidence that the Indian government would be able to swing a good deal in our favor. And the third and the biggest of them all was his article in a magazine where he supported COVID diplomacy. In fact, he spoke about the COVID times and how India had emerged well because of its vaccines and diplomacy. The first two are milder criticisms of the Congress party. It's the third one which really embarrasses and hurts the Congress. And the reason is that one of Rahul Gandhi's pet and favorite attacks on the Modi government has also been over the COVID issue. He's accused the government of COVID mismanagement. He, along with many other India bloc allies like Akhilesh, Yadav, have raised question marks over the indigenously made COVID vaccines. He's also said that the government has not been able to counter the post-COVID era with real economic growth. And therefore, Shashi Tharoor's this comment, on which the Congress party initially wants to keep in mum on, is something which hits out directly at Rahul Gandhi. The problem is not just that it's not in sync with the Congress's official line. The problem is that despite a reprimand where Rahul Gandhi told a meeting of all the Kerala MPs and leaders that ahead of the elections in the state next year, everyone has to fall in line. No one should speak out of turn. No one should say anything which does not seem to be in sync with the party line. But Shashi Tharoor has done just that. It also goes on to prove once again that the Congress's top leadership is unable to maintain a grip over its party leaders. Many, of course, would say that this is what happens when your party is inherently weak, when the organization is crying for strengthening it. We are all aware of the inner dynamics of Kerala Congress politics. Shashi Tharoor, when he decided to contest for the first time, was considered to be a pariah, an outsider. The fact that he has a huge traction among the youth, also a huge social media traction, and he is his own personality. He doesn't necessarily depend for the Congress party for its identity. He's also a careered former diplomat. He understands what the External Affairs Ministry is working is all about, very articulate, a cricket buff, so on and so forth. He's often made the Kerala Congress unit uncomfortable and insecure. But back over here, also people are aware of the fact that Shashi Tharoor does not have a great going with many of his party colleagues. For example, KC Venugopal versus Shashi Tharoor, despite the fact that they were standing together after that Kerala meeting, the discomfort was very, very apparent. The Prime Minister has on multiple platforms praised Shashi Tharoor, whether it was in the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, whether the Shashi Tharoor himself praising the Prime Minister's foreign policies, economic policies, so on and so forth. And the BJP loves it when Shashi Tharoor speaks, just as much as the Congress hates it when he speaks out. Shashi Tharoor has often told his close confidants that I believe in being frank and honest and air my opinion so, which in politics may not be the right thing. Which is why every time Shashi Tharoor speaks out, this question comes up, is he quitting the Congress to join the BJP? Now here's why it's a very tough question to answer and why yes and no. First of all, despite the fact that the BJP is clearly having its eyes on Kerala, Rajiv Chandrasekhar has been made the boss over there. Remember, he was the man who contested against Shashi Tharoor in the last Lok Sabha elections. When Rajiv Chandrasekhar's appointment was announced, Shashi Tharoor was one of the first ones to congratulate him, but then that's what political courtesies are all about. But Shashi Tharoor also knows very well that at least in Kerala, the BJP still has a long way to go. But then, the positive side of Mr. Tharoor, what I was just talking about, that he is now his own personality and identity. He's now grown a little bit beyond the Congress. People recognize a Tharoor despite or in spite of the fact that he's a Congress leader. So will this factor help him? Suppose he decides to join the BJP or contest the next Lok Sabha elections independently with tacit support of the left as well as of the BJP. Mind you, Mr. Tharoor has also equally praised the left government, which is where the entire controversy and bawal within the Congress party began from, when he actually lauded the economic policies of the left government. So the left is happy, the BJP is happy, it becomes a win-win situation for him. Chances are that after getting the ticket 4 times round from Thiruvananthapuram, there's quite a possibility that the Congress party may want to teach him a lesson and not give him a ticket next time round, should he decide to contest. And in that case, leaving the Congress party will not be such a bad idea because he is his own man and identity. But will that be a reason enough for him to immediately join the BJP? At this point of time, he roughly has around 4 years left to go as a member of parliament. Why would he want to go to a Rajya Sabha in case he joins the BJP? And why would he want to give up on his Lok Sabha berth? But it's very clear that not many in the Congress party are on talking terms with him. They have almost ostracized him. There's a sense of discomfort. It's almost akla cholore. I see him entering parliament pretty much alone. And very rarely is he seen talking to fellow congressmen. And it's not just limited to Kerala, because many of them, after his comments and recently the one on COVID, will not want to associate with him lest the Gandhis get angry. And this is a reason why Shashi Tharoor may think of looking beyond the Congress party. You ask him now, he's making it very clear, there's no way I'm going to be joining the BJP because he's equally critical of them. And his ideology is one which he says is not in sync with the BJP. But the Hindutva agenda of the BJP is something which even Shashi Tharoor has. No one can blame him and accuse him of being anti-Hindu. He's written books on it, he talks about it, and he ticks all the right boxes for the BJP and not for the Congress party of late. I would be a little bit more cautious, but I would not completely give up. Many surprises have been sprung on us. And remember, who would have thought a Jyotiraditya Scindia, Jiten Prasad, RPN Singh, and all of them would have one day leave the Congress to join the BJP. After all, they were closest to Rahul Gandhi at one point of time. Similarly, I would not give up on the possibility of a Shashi Tharoor leaving the Congress party. Where he goes, what he does, I'm going to leave that open-ended. What do you think? Do give in your reactions on the social media timeline.